Hey everyone, happy Friday. Here I am again, and oh, thank you, God. I'm just feeling so blessed to be in my lovely little spot again here in just by this little, I don't know if you can see the wall, but there's a lovely little, kind of like a rounded alcove, I guess you could call it. Yeah, a lovely part of this little kind of village that I'm in Kefalonia in Greece. It's just such a treat to be here. So, what I would like to share today again, similar to the last couple of days, it's getting a little chilly now. Not chilly, London standard, but I guess Kefalonia standard's a little chilly because it's like 6:30, 7. I've gone for my jog, gone for my swim, and I'm just feeling a bit of a breeze. So I'll keep this fairly short. And again, I haven't spent a lot of time planning this, but I quite like being in the habit of giving a little share each day. Just my way of, I guess, showing a bit of gratitude and just sharing my reflections, sharing some hopefully some things that you may find helpful if you are interested in spirituality and self-care and being loving to yourself and learning how to listen to your heart and personal growth and trying to become the most loving person you can be. So yeah, if those things apply to you, then hopefully these things that I'm sharing hopefully you'll find helpful, if God is willing. So here's what I want to share, right, is again, as I was just going on my swim this evening and just taking in all the scenery. Often when I go walking or when I go swimming, I like to really take in, all the pleasure that I'm experiencing, really make the most and digest the experiences that I'm having. And one of the things that it occurred to me, and this has been occurring to me lately, is, it really is possible to live the life of your dreams. Again, I know I've done a lot of these videos on are you living the life of your dreams, but it's a good theme, and it's one that I feel quite passionate about sharing, because you hear it, right? A lot of people say, follow your dreams, and it almost becomes cliche. And I think a lot of people, certainly I was, for a large part of my life, I always thought, yeah, it'd be lovely to live the life of my dreams. But I always thought, like I said, I had this feeling of having like a calling to serve God, and I felt like there was a conflict between serving God and living the life of my dreams. But again, I know I touched on this yesterday, but I want to just reiterate this. Like, it's so liberating and so freeing and just so amazing and lovely to really actually feel that I'm actually allowed to live the life of my dreams without feeling like I'm being selfish. But again, from doing my inner work, I've realized that all stems from my upbringing and my mother and my mother's views, and how I let her views affect me, how I allowed her, her kind of judgment of me. And obviously it was all her own stuff, all her own conditioning, but, all the times that she'd tell me I'm selfish and, made me feel as though I had to put her first. It really has had a big effect on me, and it really has. I think it's played a big factor in me having this feeling of, not feeling that I'm allowed to live the life of my dreams, and also be serving God at the same time. So yeah, it's just such a lovely breakthrough I've had to have done, and that's one of the benefits of doing inner work. If you do some inner work, have counseling, have therapy, start looking at what's holding you back in life from living your dreams, and hopefully you'll come to similar conclusions that I have. And again, from doing the inner work, I've learned about the effect of my parenting and the effect that's had on me, and the effect that it's had in terms of, it's held me back from living the life of my dreams at a younger age. And as I'm reflecting on this, I'm learning more about the effect of my upbringing, and mainly my mother. Actually, my mother's had a big impact on me, unfortunately, in terms of, kind of contributing to me feeling a lot of guilt But what I'm so blessed and what I'm so grateful for these days is that as I've reflected and learned about that, it's so lovely now and so liberating to really feel in my heart that I'm able to kind of, now that I've become aware of that, I'm now able to kind of see more like the truth of what what God is, who God is, and the truth about God's nature, and learn it. It's like a weight being lifted off my shoulders, just it's like a burden being lifted off of me, just realizing like all of that stuff that I was subjected to through living with my mum for so many years. I'm now realizing I didn't need to hold on to that. It's not true. It's not true. And actually just learning that God is the most loving parent that any of us can ever imagine having. And for the majority of us, our parents will have fallen short, of course, of providing us with the kind of parenting which is a good example of the way God parents. But that's I'm not expecting that of any parent, because we're all human and we're all going to make mistakes. And by the way, I want to say that about my own mother. My own mother has been very good to me in recent years, especially financially. So, and she does care about me, and that's important. If you have got a parent that, if you feel care from a parent, then that's lovely. All I'm saying is that unfortunately, she was because she wasn't very healthy herself. That's what because she had her own issues to deal with. That was mainly why I think she projected a lot of that onto me, and that's why she felt like she's quite needy and wanted me to do a lot for her, and then she'd get upset if she saw me doing my own thing, and very sensitive as well. So that's why she would kind of make me feel guilty. But it's not to I just want to make that clear that I'm saying this just to help people, because I want to help people benefit from what I'm learning about my upbringing and my experience. I really am saying it to help. I'm not saying it to be mean to my mother, to be mean to my mother. And I'm not belittling how much she cares for me, because she really does care for me, which is a lovely thing to have in a parent. And she always has cared for me. But she just, because of her own level of self-love and her own level of self-development and her own kind of lack of awareness of the way that she was parenting me and the things she was doing and how needy she was, because she wasn't aware of that, that's how it kind of negatively impacted me. But back to the kind of thing that I want to share today is, it's just so, I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but often before I really stepped into living my dreams more, which has really been in the last few months really, going traveling and coming to this beautiful country of Kefalonia and just saying goodbye to London, and really allowing myself to kind of live, my dreams. I mean, I've been dreaming of just traveling like this for a couple of years now, and just being able to wake up somewhere in the sun and go out swimming in the sea, and just develop a lovely kind of self-caring lifestyle of just teaching online, focusing on really what my dream job is, which is retreats. I want to start doing more yoga retreats and kind of inner transformational retreats, spiritual retreats. And since I've done that, I've just realized wow, it really is possible. You see, up until then, I'd see people on YouTube or on Facebook saying hey, come and sign up to my free package, my free training, where I'll teach you how to make, loads of money, and I'll teach you how to live the life of your dreams. And it was always I'd see these people and think, oh yeah, that's cool. That sounds good for them. But, maybe one day. But I was always holding myself back. And again, from doing a bit of inner work around that and from developing awareness around that, I realized again, it was my guilt. It was my feeling of oh no, it would be too selfish of me to just go off and leave London and pack my bags and just go off and go traveling. And it's not that easy. But again, that was because of my conditioning and this kind of deep down belief that it would be selfish, or it would be hedonistic. And again, a lot of that comes from my mother, unfortunately. Unfortunately, from a young age, my mother would often tell me that I'm being hedonistic, and she had her own again, her own views. Unfortunately, she had a lot of judgment towards my dad. My dad was a much more hedonistic guy than she is, and you know, he wasn't of the Catholic upbringing, so he would just go off and do his own thing. But she often judged him as a very hedonistic, selfish person, and so if she felt like I was going down that route of doing what I wanted, she would often label me with that, and so that was something else that kind of deep down, unfortunately, it affected my beliefs about myself, and it also affected my judgment of myself. But what I'm realizing now is yeah, all those beliefs and conditionings, they're not true, and they just held me back. So now the share that I'm trying to make is that, like, if you are like me and you can kind of like relate to what I'm saying, sometimes you look at people on Facebook and they're doing these amazing things and they're talking about how much money they're earning, and you think, oh, I'd love to be doing that. And not that it's about the money, but the point I'm making is it's about living your dreams. And if someone has got a big dream of earning a lot of money and doing a lot with their life and going traveling and going to lovely places, and what I'm realizing now is, rather than judging those people, I'm realizing that, you know, we've all got free will, and if that's what makes them happy, and if they're making loving choices with the money, you know, they're giving it maybe to charity, they're helping people, and a lot of these entrepreneurial type people, one of the things I'm learning is that, you know, as I'm being more kind of indulgent and allowing myself to experience more fun and joy, and I'm allowing myself even to consider the thought of earning more money, because I had a lot of blocks around money for a long time. But as I'm allowing myself to step into that more, I'm realizing that a lot of the judgments I used to have around people who make lots of money, I'm realizing it's actually, you know, it doesn't have to be a bad thing to make money. You know, there are, and again, I think it comes from me stepping into that, you know, stepping into like the kind of life, my dreams, where I am welcoming more money. I'm realizing that doesn't make me a bad person, and therefore, by allowing myself to have more money and more abundance, I'm realizing I'm feeling like less judgment towards other people who are earning a lot of money, because I'm realizing we're allowed to, and it's actually, you can do a lot of good with money. It's not about how much money you make, it's about your intention and what you do with it. And I feel like the judgment, by me being more loving to myself, like my judgment of other people who earn a lot of money is becoming less, which I think is a good thing, because I believe God wants us to be, you know, basically the less judgmental the better, and the more accepting the better, and the more loving the better. So if I'm now feeling more like I can relate to entrepreneurs, people making lots of money, people even maybe on Facebook, maybe people who I judged before as being like showing off or being celebrities or doing things for the wrong reasons, I'm now realizing that as I'm having more compassion for myself and allowing myself to experience more fun and joy and abundance in my life, I can kind of relate to more of these entrepreneurial people who I always would have thought of as just, you know, would have held them at a distance. I'm now realizing, like, yeah, the world's a smaller place, and actually just because you're making lots of money, it doesn't make you a bad person. You can still be a very loving person, because again, like I said, it's what you do with it. So yeah, that's my share for today. My share is basically I feel like I'm waffling a bit, but my share is, you know, if you're like me and you kind of feel like something's holding you back, and you look at people really living the life of their dreams, and you're thinking, oh yeah, maybe one day, just consider that, you know what, it really is possible. You really are. Like, a few months ago, I did not think I'd be having this much fun in beautiful Kefalonia and enjoying the kind of indulgence that I am. But the more I'm stepping into it, the more I'm realizing, like, wow, it really is possible. Guys, it really is possible to live the life of your dreams. Oh, and here's one I want to finish with. If you look at anyone on Facebook or YouTube, or, you know, anyone you kind of maybe judge, if you feel any jealousy towards them, that's a good sign that you actually, the truth is, you want to be doing what they're doing, but you're just not, you know, you're too afraid. Maybe you've got some guilt or something, because that's how I was. I remember over the last couple of years, there's people I'd see, like previous friends of mine, doing really, really well, especially my friends who I did my yoga training with. I see them traveling all around the world doing yoga retreats, And I did. I judged them because I thought, well, no, their intention isn't very pure. They're just having fun. They're not living like a godly life like I am. You know, because I always thought I should be devoting more to priesthood and shouldn't be making too much money because it'd be selfish. But yeah, but deep down, if I'm really honest, I was jealous of them, and I did think, oh, I would actually love to be doing what they're doing. So now, as I'm stepping into more of that lifestyle, I'm considering retreats and traveling opportunities and making more money. I'm realizing, like, yeah, you know, this is the truth. This is the life of my dreams, and I don't need to judge myself for wanting to make money and wanting to travel and wanting to have great experiences. And so yeah, that's a little sign. Just I want to share that with you. If you're looking at people, I don't know, maybe me, and you're seeing people doing things they want to do, but you're not doing it yourself, if you feel any jealousy, is a good sign that deep down you probably want to be doing those things. So let yourself, it's okay to let yourself have more fun and joy and abundance in your life. All right, guys, hope that helps. Ciao for now.